Good afternoon and welcome to Boom Market Stock Show. This is your host, Ian Hobson, and we have actually quite a nice show. So, article that I was reading, and I was also now scratching around with the big guys and actually selling their stocks. And it doesn't look like these guys are buying it actually back, and that is actually throwing a big question mark there. Also, there was some blistering news that came out now at 3:30 out of United States. That is the PPI number that came out. The PPI number, United States, look, it's a very high number. On top of that, Germany's actually wholesales number was at a record all-time high. The last time it started to be published in the 1962s, it didn't even reach that. It was 16%. It just jumped all over the show. So that was the German CPI wholesale number that came out, which is at the record high. And then on top of that, you have the PPI number of the United States. They were hitting actually a 9.6, nearly 10%, nearly double digits. So if you think that inflation is going to go down in the United States, that's not the case, because the producer price index is actually just going up and up and up and the whole time. So that will put up pressure with the Federal Reserve tomorrow. And that is actually the big thing that we are about, is that the whole thing needs to start tomorrow. That is now the tapering that needs to start. Or will they start to raise interest rates tomorrow? Because that PPI number is really scary. That is a 2008 high. And we all know what happened in 2008. That was the big crash is coming. But the big issue for today is actually the guys that are selling their stocks. And that is now the big guys. That is now Elon Musk. You have Jeff Bezos. You have also the CEOs that are actually selling their stocks. And surprisingly, of all this, the CEO of Pfizer selling 61% of his stock. He's also in the box. The CEO of Pfizer, can you imagine that? If he sells his shares, then definitely it raises some eyebrows. Look, I'm not now trying to create some sensation about it, but obviously it's an eye. You have to lift up your eyebrows for that one, because if he sells 61% of his stock, then you need to look, hey, what the hell is going on here? But I actually just got a clip for you on that one.
We just saw in a filing that Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla sold about $6.5 million worth of stock, or sorry, 5.6 million. I switched the 6 and the 5 on Monday, triggered probably by that stock move because of the vaccine data. Now, from this filing, we know it was about 132,500 shares at an average price of about $41.94. It's clear that this is under one of these 10b5-1 trading plans, a pre-planned sale. This one was adopted August 19th, 2020. Now, Pfizer tells us Albert Bourla, the CEO, still owns about $15 million worth in Pfizer shares, saying he's been there for 25 years at the company, and through that time, he owns a substantial amount of Pfizer stock. They say, quote, under our qualified and non-qualified savings plans, they say he now holds approximately 9 times his salary in Pfizer stock after the sale this week. That's how we get to that $15 million number, guys. But anytime you see these stock sales from executives around news, particularly on COVID vaccines and drugs, eyebrows are raised. We've seen this with Moderna as well. And so this one is capturing some attention, even though it was a pre-planned stock sale.
Yeah, it was a prepaid stock sale, but the thing is, it's all to do with actually it raised some eyebrows for him actually to sell that stock. I mean, it actually is 61% of his stock that he sells, and that is now Pfizer. With all these things that is actually happening, we have maybe an annual booster shot that people needs to get. So you can throw your questions around that. Look, I'm just reporting all the things that is actually currently happening. But the big issue is actually, obviously, we all know about Elon Musk that actually was selling about 10 billion of his shares. And then we have also, I think Jeff Bezos is second with about close to 10 billion of his stock that he's selling. And then you have actually other CEOs of Google. Man, it's just a whole bunch of people that are actually selling their stocks. So now you have to ask yourself, will this stock market go up, or will it go further up? It went down. If it's just actually where it will just go further down. So that is actually raising the eyebrows. Will it go further up? Will these guys reinvest that money? As it stands, it doesn't look like it, but I will share also an article with you, but I will also share you this clip about these guys selling their stocks.
Well, stock down about 6% today. Elon Musk selling another 934,000 shares yesterday for about $1 billion. That is to pay taxes on the exercise of about $2 billion in options. The stock now down about 18% since that famous Twitter poll back in November asking whether he should sell 10% of his total Tesla stake. His selling now tops $10 billion. Some of that for these taxes, but a lot of that just a straight cash out sale. He still has another $11 or $12 billion to go to reach that 10% goal. Now, he is not the only CEO selling. Total stock sales by CEOs and insiders this year hitting an all-time record of $69 billion. That is up 80% over the 10-year average, according to Insider Score. Musk is the top seller so far, but Jeff Bezos really close behind with about $10 billion in Amazon sales. The Waltons family selling about $6 million in Walmart shares. Mark Zuckerberg selling about $4 billion in Facebook/Meta. Now, Satya Nadella recently selling about half of his Microsoft shares for about $285 million. A lot more is expected this month, since a lot of this selling is due to avoiding higher taxes that could start next year. Guys?
Look, as they said, it had to do maybe with the tax that starts next year in the United States, where they have to pay more taxes and all that weird codes that they have where people need to pay more taxes. The thing is, the stock market, that is what we're about. We don't care about how will people pay taxes and all of those things. We need to know about the tax market. Sorry, not the tax market, about the stock market. Will it go up? Well, these guys are selling their stocks at records. The thing is, one, it looks guilty because it sounds like insider trading, because these guys are selling their stocks when it reached a high that is in November, and now they're selling their stocks. And the thing is, the stock market went down. Will it go further up? That is actually the big question. As things stand, for me, it looks like the market is hitting a plateau and it's not going anywhere. Depending on what the Federal Reserve is saying tomorrow, will they push more stimulus? But this is actually an article that I actually just want to show you guys. This is actually the monthly sales, total value of stock sales by company insiders by month. That is actually 15.5, say 15.6 billion. Actually, that is just in November 2021. Well, if I go on with an article, if you go on, 48 top executives have disposed of more than $200 million each in stock sales this year, about 4 times the average versus insider from 2016 throughout 2020, according to the new report via the Washington Post, citing data from the research firm Insider Score. Now, that is the CEOs that also sell the stocks. Now, one thing that I liked about the article is the last part, and while the buyback bid has helped corporate executives unload their stocks, Goldman was quick to be cautioned. The buyback open window for 2021 ends on the 10th of December. That is, for me, actually the most important thing. Did these guys buy back the stock? I don't think so. For the investors betting on higher stock prices, the question is, what happens if the stock buybacks reverse? Now, the thing is, these guys are withdrawing their stocks because obviously the tax man is waiting for them. That is now next year when this whole thing changes. So that's why these guys are not going back in. The thing is, you as the investor, will you also now jump out? Look, it reads now again about the Dow Jones, but Tesla is just going down. Apple also, it's just going down. Facebook and all of them are just going down. And if you look at the indexes, the NASDAQ and Dow Jones, they went back there, but not so convincingly. For me, it depends also on tomorrow on what Jerome Powell will say. Maybe the guys will come back. But the other thing is the tax rules that change the United States, where you get actually taxed on stocks that are trading. So that's why these guys are going up. This is not a good picture for the stock market. And it looks like things can turn very ugly, depending also on what Jerome Powell will be saying tomorrow. It is a sketchy story, but for me, for the stock market, I would definitely not buy any stocks because the big guns are going out. It looks like the market is tanked. Inflation is through the roof. You have also the story of a supply chain problem. Even if they give free money to people again, I doubt it will help because it will just ramp up inflation again. So I think the market is toast, honestly. And that's why these guys are pulling out. And I did not think they're buying their stock back. So please be very careful on the market because I think the market is definitely toast. So that is it from my side. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. And please don't forget also, if I get banned from Facebook, at least you will get me on YouTube and also on my website. That's it from my side. See you guys tomorrow at the same time. Bye-bye.